Welcome back to ICO Review, and today we'll be taking a look at Castlecoin. So Castlecoin, at a glance, is a blockchain-based real estate platform. These guys specifically are a real estate platform for the buying and selling of real estate, with properties being specific to the Australian market. So what I want to do here is give you like a brief overview of what's going to be happening here on the platform, and then I'm just going to ramble at you for a while about the one aspect that really gets me excited. But there are a few things that are happening here with Castlecoin that I haven't quite seen before in an ICO, which is, the main reason why I'm covering it. For the way they're implementing systems at a level that I believe shows a really good deal of consideration and dedication, and that coupled with the team itself, I think that this platform could achieve some really cool things over the next 2 to 5 years. So the brief overview of what the platform does and will do. So whole real estate, the listing, selling and buying of Australian real estate using fiat and cryptocurrency. So they're a blockchain-based platform, but it's not specific to purchases in cryptocurrency. You can use the native dollar as well, and I haven't seen that before in a real estate investing related blockchain application. Secure and liquid real estate transfer, so tokenization of real-world assets, removing transfer inefficiencies and improving liquidity whilst facilitating the transfer of real estate assets using smart contracts and blockchain technology now, whilst they are delivering that in their own unique way, which we'll touch on when we have a look at the tokens. I think you'll agree that we've heard things similar to that aspect before. Of course, being a marketplace itself, there will be an inherent community and ecosystem dedicated to building an informed user base, facilitating interactions surrounding potential investment opportunities. So, which ties into the education and market data aspect of it as well. Access to real estate market data and education to support a more informed investment decision. So it's not just you jump on if you're in the market to buy a property and do so. I think there's going to be a lot of community. I think there's going to be a lot of education here for those of you that are legitimately interested in investing in real estate or learning about investing in real estate in the future as well. Of course, just being on the blockchain, there's going to be security of documentation and identification. That's just inherent. As soon as you talk about the immutability of a ledger, we've got that happening pretty much. And then the thing that really gets my brain ticking, and it's something that I've been quite interested in and haven't seen it in the crypto space at all at this point, and let me know if you have, the ability to list, sell and buy fractions of Australian real estate using cryptocurrency. I haven't heard of any fractionalised real estate investment platforms in this space. None whatsoever, and that really grabs my attention. But we'll circle back around to that a little bit later on. But when we talk about the protection of data, especially data that pertains to housing ownership and pertains to the deeds for land, I think that blockchain technology, the encryption, all of that, I think it is definitely useful, if not imperative, for the protection of those documents, anti-fraud measures, anti-document tampering measures, and not to mention just people not losing their deeds. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I've actually heard of that happening before, so you never know. So of course that solves all of those problems. Have those problems been solved in various forms before? I'll say yes. Of course, we get some money saving in terms of automating specific processes that would otherwise be done by clerks or done by bookkeepers, things like that. As soon as we introduce a platform like this to the blockchain, we get automation of specific processes through the smart contracts that we used earlier, talking about the secure and liquid real estate transfer process. And really, I think the final problem that they're solving is just the barrier of entry, the ease of access to investing in real estate for individuals. Again, like that has been done to an extent before, not in the way of fractionalized real estate, not to my knowledge and not according to my research with the amount of ICOs I look at. If I haven't seen it before, there cannot be too much of it around, if I'm being honest. So I want to spend a little bit of time now having a look at the token itself, or tokens. So I haven't seen this done before. The ecosystem will actually have 3 different tokens depending on what purpose is being served at the time. So the token that pertains to the ICO, we can refer to that as Castlecoins. Now think of Castlecoins as the gas that powers the ecosystem, that powers the platform. So it's the only token that will be available through ICO phase, the only token that you'll actually be directly purchasing through investing in this ICO. So this is the utility token. They're transactional, they're functional. And of course, like any utility token, their value directly correlates to the adoption of the Castlecoin platform itself. The second token will be the token that actually stores the data for housing deeds, property titles. This is an ERC 721 compliant token, which means it's non-fungible. For those of you that don't know what non-fungible means, you can't replace it. You can't exchange it. It's a record-keeping center on the blockchain, and that's all it's there for. And for those of you interested in the property side of things, the Castle tokens, which are the ERC 721, they'll actually be regulated by the relevant state's property law as well as federal taxation laws. So it's nice and cool that they're going to the level of depth in these individual record creation events to make sure that every single I is dotted and every single T is crossed. And then the final one, which again is where my attention actually is the Castle token fragments. And what these ones do is they represent a fragment, a fraction, a percentage of any given real estate asset that you have personally invested in using this platform. Now, there's a little bit involved in the process of getting an asset to the point on this platform where it can be fractionalized. But the easy explanation here is after the creation event of an ERC 721 token, should the community elect to fractionize that property for group investment, whatever fraction you buy into in terms of a percentage of that particular asset will be awarded to you in Castle token fragments, which is an additional ERC20 token. Now, the beauty of this system, in my opinion, is that it's allowing individuals to invest in portions of real estate, which is traditionally a far more steady piece of investment compared to the traditional crypto market. But they're doing so with this additional token creation event, this additional currency in their platform, which means that every time there is a ERC 721 that is fractionalized, it means that people aren't flying to the market to snatch up as many Castle coins as possible because there's only 100 million of them, which would cause massive spikes. And with every massive spike, there's always a massive crash. I think that without this secondary ERC20, this secondary Castle token fragment coin in the ecosystem, we'd see some crazy unreliability of the Castle coin specifically. Not to mention the sheer amount of extra Castle coins that would actually be required to support the fragmentation of the non-fungible token. They would need to print billions, absolute billions, so they're able to support the fragmentation process without heavily diluting their utility market cap. So it's a really interesting way of doing it. I hope I've done it justice, but I'm a big fan of this layered ecosystem that they're creating. Now, what's important here as well to realize, which I think is nice and cheeky, is that the way they've done this multi-token system is that you as the token holder are not purchasing a security, you're purchasing a utility. So it's quite a nice touch from the point of view of the ICO investor. The more you read about it, the more it makes sense to me. I'm not a token economist, but the dots seem to connect. Now that we're talking a little bit more about the fractionalized tokens, I want to pop down to page 12 of the white paper talking about asset token opportunity, because this is when we start talking about the fractionalized investments a little bit more. So new fractionalized investment listings are defined as a fractionalized token opportunity. So what's cool about this, as explained by the white paper, is that it's not just the developers that select what properties are put into this process. They can also be submitted by the users of the Castlecoin platform. And this is going to be put through something called a user consensus system. With a little bit more depth, prior to fractionalization, assets must be identified as cash flow positive, and in addition to the information about the property itself, details about the number of fractions available, their representative size, expected settlement date, and other asset details such as fees are made available to the community. So after that point, of course, expressions of interest and settlement phase. Now, Castlecoin itself manages the acquisition, fractionalization, transfer, and tokenization of the assets, and participants pay a transfer and settlement fee pursuant to their respective share of the asset value in coins. So to facilitate all of this is going to be a digital token exchange, to which I wasn't able to find any alpha, but the moment there is one, I'll demonstrate it here on the channel so you can all get a feel for the interface. But I suppose what I'm really trying to do here by harping on about the fractional investment aspect of this platform is really communicate the fact that I think this is necessary, right? So yes, there are other fractional investment platforms in the world. So the one that comes to mind is Bricks. However, to my understanding, it isn't protected by all of the encryption benefits of a blockchain-related platform or operated by the predetermined smart contracts. Now, of course, as a crypto fanboy, as your crypto enthusiast, I'm going to gravitate towards those things because I believe in the technology. Furthermore, I think it's fantastic to have something in the space, in the crypto space, that's going to allow you to diversify your crypto portfolio. If you consider my crypto portfolio over the last 8 months, for instance, it's fluctuated everywhere from 30,000 to 3,000, depending on where we are in the market. So the ability to take that cryptocurrency, and yes, you can use fiat here as well if you want, but to be able to take that cryptocurrency and put it into something a little bit more stable, much like, I can't remember the name of the platform now, we reviewed a platform ages ago that was like an index fund. That never really went anywhere, and I feel like that, maybe this is a little bit more accessible in that everybody is a little bit more familiar now in the world of investing. We've had a little bit more time to hang out in the cryptocurrency sphere for those of you that are keen investors and start looking around to see what you can do with your cryptocurrency. Property and fractional property investment funds are a thing that I've definitely read about and considered investing in the past, like with the platform Bricks. But if you've got your cryptocurrency there, you don't want to cash it out and pay all of that capital gains tax by converting it all into fiat, I'm hoping that this is the answer for portfolio diversification that I've been seeking, and if you're anything like me, that you've been seeking. So it's definitely worth a closer look. Speaking of a closer look though, we'll have a quick look at the team. Because as you all know, a ICO is only as good as its team and its advisors. So James Lynch is an interesting dude. Let's have a look at his LinkedIn. So James Lynch, who is the CEO of Castlecoin, he's actually the strategy and research director for something called Dollars with Cents. If my understanding is correct, it's actually a media platform talking about investment, where he actually provides information about financial services, cryptocurrency, and the property sector. So I feel like he's just ideally placed to have the expertise to run this platform. Let's have a look at Alan. And the long and the short of it is he is the general manager of ACX, which is Australia's most liquid Bitcoin exchange. So again, somebody that's heavily involved in the cryptocurrency space makes sense for their involvement. And then, of course, we have Dallas Brooks as well, who is the other founder, along with Alan, who is a highly sought after expert in financial and investment strategy. And the list really goes on with a whole bunch of what seem to be highly qualified individuals. So I'll be watching this one closely. Yeah, I have to say that this one is really appealing to me in terms of the diversification that's possible for my crypto portfolio. Wait until things pop off, probably in and around next Christmas, next December and January, take out a chunk of that platform, put it into something a little bit more stable, like fractionalised real estate. Not a financial advisor, not financial advice. Now, this isn't something I take as seriously anymore, but let's have a quick look at their Telegram just to see how many members are in there right now. And it's a really modest little group, 44 members. And this reminds me a hell of a lot of Acorn Collective when we first had a look at them back in the day. And while it seems to be the way of a lot of ICOs, I'm kind of heartened to see that they haven't gone ahead and purchased, 60,000 members for the group, because it's really telling in the communication of the group. At least we do see some regular communication here from some faces that as an early joiner, you'll hopefully get to know and develop a bit of a relationship with through the chat, through the ICO process. So the ICO date has not been announced yet. And as you can tell from the size of the Telegram group, it's probably still quite early days for them right now. There will be a staggered ICO phase. 60% discount off pre-sale, stage 140, stage 230, and so on and so on. It's all on the website, and there will be a KYC process. But I think that's probably enough information on Castlecoin for now. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Go and join them in the Telegram. Talk to the team while you can. While it's nice and small and nice and intimate, it's a great chance to get to know a project. If you've liked this video, hit the subscribe button and come and join us in the Crypto Nebula community for more ICO chats. I have been your crypto enthusiast, and I will see you in the next video.